Is tracking the latest with this extremely dangerous storm.
That's right. We got the 11 o'clock advisory just in from the Hurricane Center. We'll start off with this satellite view. Here's the Dominican Republic, where we saw some of those pictures from, and you can see that was well away from the eye of the storm, which is moving just through the southern part of the Turks and Caicos, getting ready to enter into the Bahamas. Again, a very large storm. Over about 600 miles from north to south and about 700 miles from east to west. So a very, very large storm continuing to make that march towards the north and west. Right now, winds of 165 miles per hour, has weakened just a little bit, likely undergoing an IWAR replacement cycle. Right now, the storm is about 585 miles east-southeast of Miami, Florida, moving to the west-northwest. So here's that updated forecast track by Saturday evening, 4 p.m., or by Saturday evening, 8 p.m. That's when we expect this turn to start to come to fruition that we've been forecasting for the past several days. Notice winds of 155 miles per hour, 156 is a Category 5. So we're not going to quibble over those wind speeds. Again, a very, very strong storm making a run for southern Florida, and then by 8 p.m. located right through central Florida. Now, we usually don't have the center line on here. We're just showing this that there has been a little bit more of a shift to the west, but notice that keeps the storm right over the Florida Peninsula through the entirety now. And what that means is as the storm is over land, it needs that warm water to fuel it. That's like the jet fuel to an airplane. When it's over land, it weakens considerably, and that is certainly good news for us and for parts of western North Carolina and Virginia, but still bad news for Florida, Georgia. A little bit better news that it'll be over land most of the time, and by Tuesday, just a remnant area of low pressure back over central areas of Tennessee. Now, we talked about 3 tracks that we were watching. This one here, we're saying about a 55% chance. We might even have to up that up to 60 coming up Florida. That would mean most of Florida, especially the coastlines, would get the hardest impacts, and this would certainly be better for Georgia South and North Carolina coastlines. Our impacts from this would be minimal. If we had a little bit more of an easterly track, which is still possible, we've lowered those odds to about 40%. That would mean eastern Florida, Georgia, and the South Carolina coastline would be hardest hit. Still relatively minor impacts here in Hampton Roads, and only about a 5% chance, maybe even a 3% chance now that this storm is going to curve out and come towards the outer banks. That would mean hardest hit areas will be eastern Florida and coastal North Carolina, moderate effects. Right now, we think that central Florida track is the most likely. All we have to do is wait for that turn, and that likely won't happen until the day on Saturday.